starting.
All right. Hey, are you ready?
Yeah, it's stunning. Oh.
All right. Well, I guess welcome to the first CJM deep dives into scripted version. The idea of these videos is mostly to basically to have a bunch of fandom knowledge of stuff, and the idea of these videos is to first make a scripted video like our continuum shift or just like talking videos where we just all get into a room and talk about as much as a topic as we know about it. And then there's supposed to be a part 2 of this video where we take all of the information from this video and condense it down into maybe like a 15-minute video, 10-minute video. And so for the first deep dive, we're doing Kingdom Hearts. Specifically, just like a close-up look at how we think the physicality of like heartless nobodies and like the body of people in Kingdom Hearts works. And then afterward, perhaps a even smaller look at the possessions that have happened in Kingdom Hearts and how those could possibly work.
So we're essentially just doing the science of the nobodies and heartless.
Yes, this is the fact finding where people can see our sources and see that we made it the fuck up.
Source says I made it the fuck up.
I pulled it out of my ass.
Introductions or anything? I guess I am Ben.
I am Jeff.
I'm Chris.
Now, Michael.
He's just the mascot who's scoping things out, so he won't really
Yes. I'm not just the mascot. I'm also the random dude who will make comments.
Because we need that.
Exactly. Yeah. And sarcastic humor.
By the way, if my mic sounds different from like past videos, I just moved, so I don't have my quality mic. I'm using my laptop microphone.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, so I am relatively in the same. Well, wait, I'm not in the same time zone, but I'm like an hour behind these guys. So
as opposed to before, which was like 5 hours,
6 hours.
Yeah, 6 hours. So it's a little better.
So we're somewhat synchronized. Well, hour off, but hey, still synchronized.
Yeah, it's better than what we had before.
Yeah, where it was late night for me and afternoon for them, which I've been taking these guys' time of like their days.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So, does anyone have anything to state about the subject so far, or anything that comes to mind?
Given the fact that it's Kingdom Hearts and it's a beloved series that began in like in the early 2000s or whatever.
Yeah, it's 21 years old.
It's 21 years old.
Yes,
and
it can drink now.
It can.
Good point.
I mean, it was just pretty much extraordinary when it first came out, when you can have the Disney characters and an OC character go around the world, random Disney worlds to protect the heart, and then it's just nothing more than kind of a new story with the movie going on with the OC character. And goofy.
I love fan fiction games.
It's great.
Yes.
Ridiculous and fun at the same time.
It was.
Yes.
It was, and then it just go a little bit more. We will eventually get there at some point, but it'll go to be this big, expansive cesspool of retcons, and the writers did not just keep consistency due to various circumstances.
I like how I was kind of talking like that a little bit like a year ago, and you were like, I don't know, I think you're reading too much into it. And then we played Dream Drop Distance, and you're like, I see everything now.
Dream Drop Distance was an eye-opener.
Yeah.
You just took a whiff at the spice from Dune. You go like, I can see beyond time and space.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is that where that joke is from?
Yes.
I got it from Gravity Falls.
Well, that's probably.
Let me know if you see a god worm or some shit like that. Because I will laugh.
Riding on like a dolphin with like 4 really jacked arms.
I can believe it.
So, yeah. I never. So pretty much, this is Ben's whole thing. So I'm gonna let him start talking. But again, we're gonna talk about the body, heart, and the will, and how it corresponds with this thing. And it's just mostly for
Okay.
fun. So please just go with it. Again, this is just for funsies. If there are any hardcore AH fans that see this video, thank you. This is for fun, and we do love
Yes.
this series, but maybe some will love it more than others. I'm pretty much like high, but not like high. So just keep that in mind, okay? Fans,
No, give it. No, eviscerate us, please.
Give us an advantage essay.
I feel like the purpose of that was don't yell at Ben. He is fragile.
pretty much.
No, wait. Send your hate mail to me so I can take all the punishment.
Send it to Michael at CJM.com.
Do we even have a website?
Shut up. Anyway, let's get this. Okay, children, let's get this ball rolling. Let's not worry about that right now. I don't want to see that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But no, as far as the entire concept of the body goes, it's mostly just this thing where in Kingdom Hearts, there is this entire basically, I don't know what the word is. It's not a mythology. Maybe it's a metaphysicality where like the monsters in it are called Heartless, and basically, man, explaining this literally is difficult. I'm glad we're doing this dry run.
Unscripted too.
Yeah. But no, I mean basically no, there's a metaphysicality of Kingdom Hearts where there's like light and darkness, and basically light is just sort of like life-giving and positivity and positive emotions. Where like darkness tends to be negativity and like I guess death, but also kind of like rebirth and stuff like that. Almost like it's like a
Here you go. You go.
almost like it's a natural cycle, though to be honest, the naturalness of it, the games kind of flip-flop back and forth on lore-wise. I guess darkness is as natural as the game feels it needs to be, unless they need an antagonist, then darkness is the antagonist.
To add on to that, whole thing with the whole Maleficent thing and how she says the darkness, the true darkness, like when you fight her at Hollow Bastion in the first game, this actually gets not retconned. I read it in a book because, of course, it's going to be somewhat canon, even though the information for that and us talking about it is kind of wonky, but it makes more sense in the concept of Maleficent doesn't deal with darkness. She is just evil. She's wicked. And that's a totally different concept from darkness and light. So if you want to think about it like that, she's just dabbling in darkness, but she's just evil.
Is there like different tiers of the balance between light and dark, where like the lowest darkness is just pure evil or something?
I mean, I can see that. I can see that. Just like levels of darkness, you gotta be really low to be pure evil.
Well, they've never said, unfortunately. I think it just.
I mean, who knows?
I will laugh. I will laugh if there's like a tier list of like light and dark.
There's no tier list.
There's tier list one.
If there's a tier list,
Sinister.
look it up. Just to keep certain things straight. I guess.
Oh shit.
Yeah, don't continue, Ben. The metaphysicality.
And so basically, basically the darkness kind of manifests itself in Heartless, which are monsters made of like, pure dark energy. Light tends to not manifest itself. I guess in Keyblade wielders, I don't really know. It's more benign. But basically, normal Heartless are created just from like pure darkness.
Yeah,
but
blooded Heartless.
Sometimes, but basically they are compelled to go out and seek like living beings and separate their hearts from their bodies. And when they say heart, it's not like a literal heart. It's like basically a soul.
Yeah. Like you don't expect them to go Kano and just like, hey, I ripped your heart out. Here's a piece of meat.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not totally not Disney. But like, yeah, it's hearts are basically souls.
Maybe the Guardian would
Yeah.
do that, or those like really jacked Heartless from the third game. But usually they're not that way.
Yeah.
But shit. Great part. But basically, when that happens, sometimes the Heartless will basically just like carry it around with them, like inside of them, almost like they're trying to take it somewhere. And sometimes, I guess if the heart was evil enough, it'll create an entirely new Heartless. Usually those have like an emblem on them, I think. I think that was also a retcon. It used to be that like emblem Heartless were made from a specific machine
It
at
was
the
an
end of Kingdom
artificial
Hearts.
Heartless with the emblems.
Yeah, and at the end of like Kingdom Hearts 1, you destroyed the machine. So like where are they still coming from? Now I think it's any time that like a Heartless is created by like someone who's a bad person, or maybe just anytime someone loses their heart, or anytime someone like Maleficent or the organization like summon or go out of there to create Heartless with magic, they're an emblem. But
Or an open door.
You said.
Yeah, I said open door.
what's that a reference to?
The ending of the first game.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Heart of all worlds or whatever.
Yeah. Although apparently that wasn't even what it was because retcons. Anyhow,
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm just gonna pretend that was what it was because shut up retcons. I like that story better. But and that was like somewhat interesting. It's basically a bunch of like monsters that steal your soul, possibly to like, I don't know,
Consume it, to feed, to give them own energy to
Consume
continue
it.
their existence.
or something like that. And that was interesting. But in the first, like, in the first game, you see someone lose their heart to the Heartless.
And we never
And
see
I-
them again.
I vaguely
Yeah.
remember the body sticks around for a bit, and this kind of, yeah, I could be totally wrong about that, but this kind of extends into the next game where there's a new monster called Nobodies, which is basically if like the will of the person is strong enough after they get their heart ripped out of them, their body just keeps going, kind of like blackout drunk.
So you.
Creates this whole triad of like 3 different things that go into making people, which is what this is about. So as far as like a body goes in Kingdom Hearts, you have your body, you have your will, and you have your heart, which maybe we should just call soul because we're going to say heart a lot in this video.
So long.
yeah. Just to frame a reference, hearts are souls. So
Yeah.
for the uninitiated.
So basically we're trying to like observe it and see what the like not circumstance, what the wow, I forget keywords all the time. Anyhow,
I have
But,
the
like-
same problem, dude.
yes. But like why that like matters, or what's the like how that is actionable, or why that matters. So for the most part, yeah, does anyone have anything to add after that?
With the whole metaphysicality you said of the Heartless, and I guess maybe just to add on to more of what are we going everything by based on the first game, or are we just picking anything we can from anywhere?
We're allowed to cherry pick whatever.
Okay. Going by all that with the Heartless and what they are and how their bodies are able to maintain their form of self of just being like cockroaches, just want to get some like a free heart or a meal, and honestly don't know where they do with it, as you mentioned, as just try to use it to keep its own existence from going on, or they probably do consume it or whatever. Has it ever been said about that once you release the heart from the Heartless, it goes back to the person, or does the soul per se like dwindle until it's nothing, and then if you destroy the Heartless after that process, the soul is effectively lost?
That's fucking
I
dark.
would say that the soul only goes back to you if you have plot armor.
I mean, that makes sense.
Like if you are a chosen one, you
Yeah.
get your soul back.
It's like
You're
almost half the characters.
But there is a lot of stuff that Ansem's saying in the first game where it's like we're all hearts return and stuff like that. And basically just kind of the verbiage of like things like the Ansem reports, and like asking where Nirvana is. That maybe there is some sort of like afterlife mixed up in this like realm of darkness, realm of light. In fact, you go there in the third game. And it's implied that like even if a heartless gets a hold of your heart, it ends up there after a while. I think. I could be totally wrong, but that's I think what's going on. Almost as if the heartless are part of a natural process of like life and death. In fact, it's heavily implied in the second game that the reason the heartless were a problem in the first game was because they were being artificially empowered. And the natural defenses of the world were not enough to keep them at bay.
The science.
Natural order, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, on Chris, sorry.
No, I just commented because science.
Yes. Also, maybe one thing I should bring up here is that like there is an argument whether like darkness is entirely evil or entirely not evil. I am soundly on the side where it's like not evil and neutral, because and the reason why I'm on that side actually has nothing to do with the lore. It has to do with my own sort of like inferences about how the world works. Because in my mind, basically light magic is from positivity. It gets stronger when you want to defend your friends. It gets stronger when you like have conviction in your positivity and stuff like that. And darkness is like negative energy, and it gets stronger when you feel shitty or down on yourself.
Or just outright fucking pissed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
And the reason why I don't want to view darkness as wholly evil is because that creates a sort of weird tone about thinking that all negative emotions ever are harmful to you and you should not have them, which is, I think, toxic positivity and is really, really bad.
Yeah, that's true.
And the idea that like you could go through trauma and it will only ever make you a weaker person is not like something I like to imagine either.
Toxic positivity is more like out of ignorance.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, from what I've seen.
But that's why I tend to view darkness as like not being totally evil, because like I view it as like negativity, and I don't want to like view like anything bad that ever happens to me as like only negative and a detractor. 100%.
That's actually a good point. Yeah.
In terms of the whole darkness not being evil thing, I can think of some other ways to link that to what you're saying, other like shows or animes that are out there that some characters wield the power of darkness, but they're just perfectly fine. For instance, like I don't know, has anyone ever watched that Digimon season 4 when they turn into Digimon and they're like the 10 warriors or whatever?
Oh yeah, that season.
The lost
like
season,
they're humans in armor.
Yeah, I only remember it because of the Christopher Walken impression for Ice Devilmon. Like one of the actors used a Christopher Walken. Like,
honestly, that sounds like Digimon.
Yeah,
that totally sounds like late 90s, early 2000s thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a character named Koichi who wielded the spirit of darkness, and then he came to the conclusion that darkness isn't just evil, it's just part of a natural element or whatever. He came up to the fact that darkness isn't evil. It's just like the aspect of light. There's just a shadow of light. It can also protect or whatever, for instance. And he was able to wield the positive side or the light side of the darkness to obtain his spirit armor of Lorimon. And please forgive me, I might be mixing that up with other things, but I'm just saying. He uses the power of darkness. Another character from a different show that uses the power of darkness is Sailor Saturn, who is the guardian of death and rebirth. And when you think that, you think, oh god, that means she's evil. No, she is just a component in a string of machinations by the fact that she judges people, she judges the world, and leads it to destruction. That does not make her evil, and her powers aren't necessarily darkness. Technically speaking, it could be. Or another instance, still of Pluto, who is the guardian of time and the daughter of Kronos, and she guards like a lower world, as they say, or whatever.
Yeah.
Kronos?
Or
Kronos? Kronos?
yeah.
Oh, you're talking about Guyver now?
I was trying to pretend I was Guyver and be triggered by Kronos.
Kronos!
That was a complete flanderization. What the hell's wrong with me?
Anyway, so or
Shouldn't yell like Shocker.
Kakarot!
anyway, but yeah, there are many. But so pretty much, there are many instances where darkness can be used as a positive, or it's not necessarily evil per se. It's the will of the person. Whatever.
There are actually examples of that in the game. There are a couple characters who use darkness. I think Axel did at one point, Roxas did at one point, and Riku and Terra did while they were active, like, player characters.
All right. More from Once Upon a Time. She clearly is darkness related, but she eventually becomes a good guy and everything. So just saying.
Yeah.
Continue.
Once again, levels of evilness. Levels of darkness.
Yes.
So yeah, did anybody else had any input about what was said so far?
I got nothing.
Cool. So basically, well, one interaction of seeing like what, how these are actionable is seeing the interaction between, mostly if we look at the interaction between Heartlesses and like human beings, like compare and contrast them, there's not really much to go on. The Heartless kind of exist, and if they take a heart, then that's kind of, it's more like it's a thing they're holding. It doesn't really affect them, except for in 3 really specific cases that we will get to later when we talk about possession. Meanwhile, when it creates much more interesting data when you compare and contrast Heartlesses to nobodies. There is a decent, like, even basically as far as nobodies go, there is a hierarchy where the stronger your will is, the more of yourself that you remember. It's implied that like the ability for a nobody to retain its human form is based on just like how well it can see itself as a person and how well it can remember itself, which is why some of them just kind of look like people who have their faces covered
14.
Where they don't remember who they are. And it could also explain why some of them are influenceable to look like someone giving them orders, like all the themed hearts nobodies from Kingdom Hearts 2.
Pause. You gotta say this because it's just really frustrating because I'm on this whole Yen Sid did Wong as just as bad as Ericus, and I want to get that eventually at some point, like in a different video.
Is it because of the guiding key thing? Because I still don't like that.
It's more about the fact that in Kingdom Hearts 2, Yen Sid, when he's explaining about the nobodies, he specifically says, and everyone treated this as the Bible at that point, sadly.
Oh yeah, they're evil and bad, and like they should be killed.
The fact that
burning them all.
The nobodies have no hearts. They have no feelings. But they pretend to have feelings. I need you all just to kill them all. They have no feelings. Don't worry about it. Because
kill them all.
Kill them. Yen?
No, that was fucking
kill them all.
Fucking Yen Sid of all Disney. Fucking Yen Sid. How dare you?
Do you want to know what my crack ass headcanon is about that?
What?
That almost certainly isn't true.
What?
My fucking like dumb headcanon about that is that wasn't Yen Sid, that was Diz.
Oh my god, how?
Because you still haven't left the Matrix yet.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
You don't actually leave the Matrix until you get on the gummy ship and leave. And because Yensid is never that like bloodthirsty at any other point in the game, but Diz absolutely would tell you, go fucking murder anyone. There is no consequences. All I want is revenge. It makes more sense if that was Diz.
Maybe,
Next.
technically
I can
speaking,
see that.
Yensid,
But like that's such a fucking long shot at this point.
it is, but at the same time, they say Yensid is a powerful sorcerer.
Yeah.
He would have protections on his tower that no one can get to, like as you're battling your way.
Are you saying that my thing holds weight because Maleficent was able to infiltrate his tower?
She was only able to infiltrate it because that damn crow remembered her or something that had something to do with that computer game. That fucking
Yeah, I don't know. Apparently, she gets to come back to life if you remember her name.
and that's explored in the
Say it in the mirror 3 times in the dark.
So it's like the Freddy Krueger thing in Freddy vs. Jason.
more or less.
Yeah.
It's explored more.
Remember my name.
It's explored more in the cell phone game, apparently.
Actually,
Yeah.
it's just gonna be completely different. Like, basically, it's like honestly, it's the same thing that happened to Diz, where like, by the way, we should probably preface this with like I don't know text at the beginning by saying massive spoilers ahead. Anyhow, it's the same thing that happened to Diz, where like he fucking exploded, and then they were just sort of like right before the explosion happened, or because of the explosion, they teleported to a different dimension and they're still totally alive.
Yes.
That's exactly what happened to Maleficent.
Yeah.
Yes.
At least in the phone game, she shows up in like the dreamscape, and like someone's like, "Oh, sweet, I was just fucking with you, seeing what you would do while you're here, but now you're getting in the way of my plans. I need you to go." And that's how she gets back to the main timeline. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, and the fact of the matter is,
I'm back to this.
yes, she actually was talking to the darkness, which is the main evil antagonist in the entire game, apparently. Spoiler alert. And it just saying you need to, if you want to get back to your time, you're gonna have to get some connections. And she says, "Oh, I got this. Okay, so I need to get out of this computer world and back to the real world in its own individual timeline, so I can get back to my world." And apparently, she takes 2 trips. Apparently, when you think about it,
I just want to note I have not played nor watched the cutscenes from Coded. So
don't worry about it. It's real. Don't worry. We're giving you the abridged version. It doesn't matter.
Do you mean wait? We're not talking
Get him
about
out. We cut it a bit.
wait, we're not talking about Coded.
we're talking
Yeah.
about Union X.
Wait, what?
We're talking about the phone game.
Isn't that?
You wish.
Oh, Coded was originally on a phone, but then got ported to 3D to DS.
Oh, you're talking about the prequel game.
Gotcha game.
That. Oh, I have not played that either. So
That's why we're being so flippant about spoilers, because of how difficult it is to play that fucking game.
It is.
Didn't they shut it down?
Yeah,
one
they
time?
shut it down.
Yeah.
So it is once again lost media. Except they re-uploaded the cutscenes only, and I'm like, just make a free version of the game.
Actually, adding on to what you just said, I did play Dark Road a little bit today, and you can play as Xehanort.
Yay!
Yay.
So you actually play as him through that game, and that's kind of annoying for me because I thought it was going to be cutscenes, but now it's like, fuck, I gotta fight. Okay, whatever. So,
Oh shit! If anybody replies to this is like, actually in Melody of Memory or in Dark Road, this happens.
Okay,
I'm like, I have no idea.
Ben has not played Melody of Memory. We are going to get to it at some point, but
You don't have to put a spoiler thing on it. I'm just not gonna have any idea what the fuck they're talking about. I need to get to that. Me and Jeff are like doing a replay. We just beat fragmentary passage.
yes.
Yay.
So yeah, now it's 3, then Melody of Memory, and then Dark Road, I think.
I guess that's pretty much.
What were we talking about?
We were talking about how Yen Sid is an asshole, saying they have no wills, they have no emotion. Kill them. It's fine.
Get them all. Get them all in.
Burn them.
And how and he said that Ericus is a terrible teacher.
No,
like, well,
he
he's
is. Ericus and Yen Sid are fucking terrible.
Well, yeah, he whipped like fucking Luke in Last Jedi, where he tried to kill his own student.
It's weird that happened before Last Jedi was out.
Yes,
Yeah, you were wondering.
and they're played by Mark Hamill.
Yep.
Oof, the irony.
Oh, I have so other words to say about Ericus, his whole upbringing of those children, but we will not get there right now.
I want to know if fucking Ryan Johnson plays Kingdom Hearts, just to know where he got that idea from.
I mean, that would be great. Like, I'm gonna steal this.
I will laugh if that was the case.
I don't really
Also,
picture
our-
directors being playing Kingdom Hearts.
Why not? They're people.
I know, but I just can't really picture it. Unless someone said I play Kingdom Hearts, then I'll believe it. But I just can't assume. I don't know why.
Maybe saw cutscenes, and this might be great.
From one of his kids playing it randomly.
Probably.
Good.
It's like, I can use this as a story. Then get Star Wars. Yes!
Are we talking about Ryan Johnson or are we talking about J.J. Abrams?
Ryan Johnson, because of how he did Luke with
The Last Jedi.
yeah,
Oh,
where
okay,
Luke,
right.
Luke was about to kill Kylo, and Mark Hamill played Ericus, who was about to kill Ventus.
Does that make Kylo Ren Ventus?
Yes.
Well, technically,
Is Kylo Ren both Ventus and Vanitas simultaneously?
Yes.
Maybe.
Yes.
You can connect the dots to that. Yeah.
Does that make Aqua Ray?
I guess?
I don't think so. No.
Yeah, I don't know if that one tracks.
No.
No, because she just lost time to Mickey.
Yeah, I guess Terra and Aqua would be like random other Padawans in Luke's school.
I see Terra. A lot of people say Terra's just Anakin.
Terra's not as angry as Anakin, though.
No, it's just Terra's kind of oblivious.
Yeah.
Dude.
Okay, spoiler alert, I am Team Terra.
He is very.
Terra did nothing wrong.
He will protect his boy.
I mean, no, he did stuff wrong. He did a lot of shit wrong. He's pretty fucking dumb. But like, he's not like evil.
Yeah.
It is too himbo to be evil. Especially because, as far as I'm concerned, he literally didn't fall to darkness. I could be totally fucking wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's actually 100%. He is where this topic came from. It was me examining Terra and how many like different times he gets ripped into like 6 pieces when he becomes a Heartless. It's like the most places that anyone's been at any given time.
Oh, Cheyenne.
But anyhow, yeah. So wait, should we go back to talking about nobodies?
Well, the nobodies are the will factor, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I went off on the Terra train.
No, it's fine. But yeah, the will is technically the nobodies, even though they have no emotions per se, which gets fucking.
Oh yeah, so no, that's the thing. Actually, no, it's good that you brought up the whole Yen said thing because he does say all those things about like nobody's not having any emotions
at the
and
time
like
for
not having any hearts. And even at the time, that seems like complete and utter bullshit.
because they're humans. They look like humans. All of them. Well, the ones that
It's not. I don't say it's because they look like humans, it's because they still seem to have emotions.
they do have emotions.
Is it like the replicants from Blade Runner where they actually feel even though they're artificial?
I think so. Yeah, it's like they're not supposed to feel, but they still do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Cyax's thing. He's a fucking masochist.
Wait.
No,
did you
wait.
say-
Yeah, he's
wait,
not supposed to have any emotions,
Wait.
but he's powered by rage.
Wait, Jeff, did you call him a masochist?
Yeah, Cyax is a masochist. Wait, or was it sadist? No,
It
sadist.
would be. I see more sadist.
He's a
because
sadist.
masochist
I'm
means,
sorry, I confused the two words. He's a sadist.
Yeah, because masochist
He
means
takes
you
a
enjoy
lot
the
of
pain.
pleasure out of other people suffering.
Yeah, masochist means you enjoy getting pain rather than giving pain.
He's
Yeah.
a sadist. Cyax is a sadist to the extreme.
I
It's like
actually didn't
Gaslight
question
too,
you
but-
calling him a masochist because of his fighting style and just being a berserker. But
Yeah.
no, he is a sadist.
All right.
This is not counting Cyax's absurd love for fucking Lee Axel, which I have talked to.
Oh, they are totally gay for each other.
No. Cyax is gay for Axel. Axel wants nothing to do with Cyax to his utter anger.
He's just
he wants
not
nothing
into you.
to do with Cyax. Cyax says, I want you to look at me. What the fuck? I gotta get rid of these children first?
Yeah, no, you know what? I should make a shit post of this after we're done. Maybe I should even include it in the fucking video somewhere. Of you know that scene from Ranma where Ryoga learns the depression like key attack?
Yeah. Hakudan.
I should definitely like basically just Photoshop the scene where Akane accidentally causes him to like nuke the city.
Wait, what?
And Akane with Axel and Ryoga with Cyax. For those of you who don't know and don't care about spoilers, around one half there's a arc where Ryoga learns basically a ki blast where like a bunch of energy comes from the sky, and it's basically triggered by depression. You have to feel really depressed, and the more depressed you feel, the harder it goes. And he basically got Akane to power it up for him because he has a huge crush on her. And she tells him, and just because he told her to, she tells him that he doesn't like her. And I mean, she doesn't like him and she never will. And basically he gets unreasonably powerful to the point where like the main character is like getting his ass kicked and I'll be also almost murdered by Ryoga. And then finally at the end of the thing, Akane realizes that he's super depressed because she said that to him. And so there's a scene in the manga where she runs over to him and it's just sort of like, oh, Ryoga, I'm sorry. I'll always like you. And then it shifts to Ryoga and he's just like smiling, this huge ass smile. And then the next panel is her going, as a friend.
Oh!
And then the next panel is Ryoga just like crying. And then the fucking world explodes.
No, the Doppelheimer.
Oof.
I had to make
just,
sure
like,
she
laying in a
said as a
crater
friend. He had to make sure.
As a friend.
Like, yep. And then like everyone's just lying in a crater afterwards, like, Akane, why did you say that?
Akane, why?
You practically destroy the world.
Akane, you're a menace.
Great.
You're a menace.
Great. Now we're dust. Thanks, Akane.
That's funny.
But anyway,
Akane Tendo, destroyer of worlds.
I love Akane, but there are just times she does kind of fall short, sadly.
So she's pretty much Mike Nelson from MST3K.
Yeah, like you destroyed, you blew up another planet, right? What's your deal?
Are you out of your stupid red skull, you dumb man?
But, okay, so that's enough of the Cyax train. I will one day talk about that shit. It's funny as hell. Yeah.
Yes. No, yes. Fucking CJM Deep Dives Episode 2, Kingdom Hearts Shipping.
Yes, that's gonna be good.
Topic, Axel X Cyax, aka, dude, he's just not that into you.
He is not into you. You gotta move on, bro. Come on.
It's one-sided gay love.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, no, as far as the nobody's having hearts and stuff, there are basically, I guess, 3 explanations for that. One of them is that they still like, no, I'd say there's 2 actually. There's 2 explanations for that. One is the one that came with the retcons, which is as they're nobodies, when they become nobodies, they start basically growing like a new heart, which is intensely problematic. And honestly, we'll talk about that after this one. But what I always thought was happening was my headcanon was that basically, even though, and I think they might have even said something like this in the games before the retcon, was that even though like nobodies don't have hearts anymore, no, Xemnas literally said we still remember what it was like. So I think that even though they aren't supposed to have specific literal emotions, they still like feel emotions almost like a muscle memory. And the stronger emotion that they had in life, the more likely that is to like follow them, because basically Syx is always sort of like, not Syx, Demix is always sort of like laid back and cowardly, and I feel like that's what he was in life. And I feel like maybe, and this is like a stretch, but maybe in like the second fight you have with him where he's way tougher, it's because he lets go of who he used to be and accepts like the emptiness of what he now is.
Ironic, we still don't even know nothing about his fucking backstory.
No, we don't know shit about that. But and also Axel, should we start calling him Lee? I'm gonna keep calling him Axel. Axel, like in his life, he was like very supportive and cared for people. Like you saw that in Birth by Sleep, and so that carries over into caring about Roxas and Shion, and stuff.
An extension, Kyrie, and I guess so.
Yeah, he's just a very caring person, and like whenever he's like sent to go kill people, he starts to kind of like disassociate from who he used to be and accept like
I hate
the
this job.
emptiness he is now.
It's gotta do it.
But yeah, it's also like, so yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also, oh no, there is a third explanation, but the third explanation is more of a Doyleist explanation. Those unfamiliar, Watsonian and Doyleist refers to the writer Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, who wrote Sherlock Holmes, and the character Watson. What is his first name?
John
Watson from Sherlock Holmes. Basically, when you say a Watsonian explanation, that's an in-universe reason why something is happening, and when you say a Doyleist explanation, that's an out-of-universe. And for the Doyleist explanation as to why the nobodies still seem to have emotions, it's probably because emotionless characters are really fucking hard to write.
I have emotions. How dare you?
So pretty much like in canon explanation, out of canon explanation. All right, got it.
So like, one reason why it might seem like all the nobodies still have emotions is just because it's legitimately hard to write a character that is emotionless, and maybe they just kind of like cheated a bit by making them kind of one note.
I mean, I could see an emotionless character just be one note. It's like basically just a robot or something like that.
Yeah, like Syx is a sadist. Larxene is also a sadist.
Oh, Larxene's a fucking bitch. I mean, I don't like her. I mean, she's a fucking bitch. She's a sadist, but she revels in that shit. She would bathe in that. She would bathe in people's blood. Do you remember the shit she put on Sora in Chain of Memories?
Yes, I do.
I like. I've only seen the cutscene. I never made it that far because I didn't like Rechain.
I guess if I want to make a bad pun, she really likes to twist the knife.
Larxene is, yeah, she does. Larxene is just horrible. Just horrible. She would really, she was like in company with, like, let's say, like with Terami or some other characters who are into the sadist thing. Terami would probably turn to her and say, "Okay, bitch, you need to calm the fuck down, okay? I like pain, but you know, you're gonna need to like calm it down."
Like if Regina George was a dominatrix or some shit, like some evil kind of into giving people just physical pain. That she's that fucking evil.
Well, I won't call Regina that.
Yeah,
she's just well, yeah.
Okay, I just know like she's referred to as the mean girl. I haven't really seen Mean Girls.
Yeah, pretty much.
Everybody's just fucking silent.
I have no idea what you're talking
very
about right now.
Extreme version of her, but yes. Yeah.
Everyone was silent. I found that funny.
I don't know what we're talking about. I literally thought we were talking about Once Upon a Time for a second.
Oh no, that's Regina Mills. He means Regina George from Mean Girls, that movie from 2004.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. But yeah, no. Basically, all the organization members primarily represent one like specific personality trait or emotion they carried with them in life, except for like Shion and Roxas, who are different and Domine, who are different because they have like Sora's heart to draw on because they were born differently. I don't know why Namine is different. They never explained that, but she is.
Even though she's like,
oh, Chris, see what you say.
I just know that Namine is a Kyrie's nobody, and somehow like she has memory manipulation or some shit like that.
It is implied that she only has memory. No, that's actually not wrong. That is actually totally wrong because it's implied she only has memory manipulation over Sora, but she's able to manipulate Riku's memories as well. She's also able to manipulate Riku Replica's memories as well.
Yeah, she can break them essentially, like break his consciousness or however.
Mind crunch.
Yes.
Jesus, that is fucked up.
When you say it like that,
part.
yes, Nominee is dangerous. Yes.
No, Nominee was immensely powerful in.
Yes.
They just didn't really
Oblivion.
imply it. They just said manipulation of memory. Okay, not that bad.
Imagine
Actually,
how
it's
absolutely fucking terrifying Castle would be if instead of like Nominee being like, "Oh, I'm scared. I don't want to get murdered, and I don't want to hurt Sora either," if she was just sort of like, you know, if I can fuck with Sora's memory and make him believe things that are absolutely not true, I can do that with every single last motherfucker in this castle, including you, Marluxia.
but she doesn't choose to do it, does she?
No,
course not,
but
no.
no, she doesn't even think of that.
She's
But
too-
what
she's too
kind
pure.
of crazy shit would it be if like she started pitting Marluxia and Larxene against each other with false memories?
Wouldn't it be like that? Like that one.
Like you
arc
get
in-
halfway through the game and you just walk in on different like Organization 13 members ripping each other apart.
like a whole schism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I'm just thinking about that, like that last story arc in the Bleach anime before they did the recent revival.
Yeah.
Like what that one did. What's his name? I forget it.
Which character we're talking about from the Bleach series, dude?
He's that one dude who was like post time skip and he like manipulated everybody's memories, gaslighting the shit out of like
the Fullbringer dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not Aizen. He was like
No,
pre-time.
He was a Fullbringer.
Yeah, it was.
He
yeah, it was
gave
the.
Ichigo's his power back briefly for a time before he got his Soul Reaper powers back.
Yeah.
I thought the memory manipulation guy was a different dude.
It's not Aizen, it's someone else. His name is one sec.
Okay, we'll move on. And there was a lot of earthquake happening at Mike's place.
Yeah, that's my niece from
Hey, Layla.
I'm picking her flying around.
Hugo Ginjo.
Ginjo.
Yeah, that guy.
Was it Ginjo?
Hmm?
I thought it was like a different dude.
There's another one who has a book, and he's part of that group. Hugo doesn't have the book, but there's another character who has a book who manipulated people's memories.
Yeah, that's the dude I'm talking about.
He's very skinny, apparently. That's all I remember about the dude. One sec.
Yeah, because
Also, I'd like to take this time to apologize because I didn't actually mean to try and portray Nominee as a wimp. She's actually does some really brave
No,
shit
it's
in that
fine,
game.
dude. I understand.
But I just wanted to juxtapose like the idea of a terrified Nominee versus like slasher fucking killer Nominee.
the slasher killer nominee would be terrifying with her abilities.
Yes.
I'll make it
I
so
knew.
you don't even remember I'm a threat.
Because I
Here's nominee.
know that nominee, despite her powers, is a cinnamon bun. So
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Like, here's nominee.
But yeah,
It's just
no,
that her-
Nominee's powers border on fucking existential terror.
and yeah, her powers are fucked up.
Bring on the Eldritch Horrors.
Yes. Give an entire new meaning to chain of memory.
I will take
Got
you to worlds of pleasure.
Got it memorized.
And not that world. You know.
Or the original line before they retconned it, committed to memory or some shit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like in the original GBA
like the
version.
DS game?
The GBA game.
Right, it was on Game Boy
Okay.
Advanced.
Yeah.
All right, Jeff, were you still looking at that Bleach character?
So, yeah, continue talking.
What were we talking about?
We were talking about Namine's fucked up powers and the other character and some characters. Like,
oh yeah, basically.
talk about nobodies.
His name is Shukuro Tsukushima. He has the ability to manipulate memory or something.
Okay. I thought it was a Suka something.
Tsukushima.
Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, you're right.
His affiliation is with Injo Kugo. They are part of the executions, or winners. And his primary skill is called Book of the End. And he's voiced by Matthew Mercer. How's it going, Matt Mercer?
Hell yeah.
Anime Jesus.
Anime fucking Jesus.
Anime Jesus.
But yes, continue about my precious nominee, who I will devote everything to at some point.
So yeah, we're basically just talking about how scary she be. It's like a horror villain.
Okay, got it.
Like had she like turned evil, then holy crap, that'd be terrifying.
Well,
That's the bad ending.
That would actually prove the moniker of witch.
Yes, but
Yeah.
at least, but she's a good guy, so we don't need to worry about her going insane.
Yeah, she's pretty much chill, and her circumstances are she was born from Sora when Kyrie's heart was in his, and his memory of her, and it just kind of corresponded. Sora really does give birth to a lot of children.
Wait, it's
Yeah.
Sora? That would explain why she's weird.
How
Naminé was born of Sora.
I mean,
Yes.
in a way, right? Because Kyrie's heart was in Sora, and then
Oh my god!
memories corresponding with his and her, his memories of Kyrie and Kyrie's own memories, it formed Kyrie's nobody, formed Naminé.
You're thinking
Oh,
of Shion.
Oh my god! I just thought of something fucked up.
Dun dun dun.
Roxas, Shion, and Naminé being Sora and Kyrie's kids.
Actually, I thought they were siblings. I was thinking more siblings, but that also goes into Ventus and Roxas' whole deal of being brothers to Sora. That's just another weird thing I have in my head.
No. Ventus would basically just be like his. No wait. Okay, I just lost my train of thought. Fuck.
Good.
Brother's roommate twice removed.
Exactly.
Fathers, brothers, nephews, cousins, former roommate.
What does that make us? Absolutely nothing.
But technically speaking, Roxas looks more like Ventus, though, because Ventus's heart was in Sora for all that time. And when Sora's nobody is formed, it's Roxas. And people say he looks like Sora, but he really fucking looks like Ventus.
Maybe because Ventus and Sora look alike. I don't fucking know. Or that Sora grew up to look like Ventus.
Yeah. Oh, because Sora's a human being. He looks like himself, and never mind.
Maybe that's because of same face syndrome. Because like if you look at Sora's face and Roxas' face, and if you look at Sora, Roxas, and Ventus, that they look like they got the same faces.
And Vanitas.
And Vanitas, but that was on purpose.
No, I can see that.
I've
Yeah.
actually never heard the Roxas and Sora look exactly alike thing.
Just say, so Roxas, you're Sora. What? I am?
Yeah. Or that one scene where Axel calls Sora Roxas or something, or some other organization member, I forget.
They do that all game.
Like what? Like what?
Where everybody does
It's
that.
getting really old.
It's getting old. I hate
Is what it
same
says,
face
like,
syndrome.
the 5th time someone calls him Roxas.
Will you stop calling me that?
I'm Sora, damn it.
Oh, wait, Sora doesn't cuss because he's a good bean.
I
I don't
I'm
even think
Sora,
he knows what a
dang
bad
it.
word is.
I'm Sora, dang.
Dang it.
Okay. Well, I need to find that one meme where here's a list of Kingdom Hearts ones that say fuck frequently to like the bottom tier where it says legally not allowed to say fuck.
Sora is legally not allowed to say any bad word.
I vaguely remember there was a comic where it was like the world ends with you Sora was visiting, and one of the characters cursed, and he like turns around, pulls out his phone, and asks Riku and Kairi to come pick him up. It's scary here. They're saying swears.
Save me! Save me!
Okay.
Shit, what were we talking about?
We were
All right.
talking about the wills and weird stuff.
So yeah, no, there's like as far as nobody's having hearts, either like they still have a connection to their own life, or it's just hard to write them, or the third, which is the retcon.
Which they
Excuse
love.
me,
They love a retcon in this series.
And the retcon states that like since the nobodies are an empty shell, they start basically a new heart starts growing within them to replace the old one, which they don't explain super well, and the ramifications frighten me. Because if a heart is a soul, and they start growing a new soul, does that mean that if you're a nobody for too long, you become a completely different person?
Probably, but it's never explained or ever put into process.
Because if you're making that argument, that's happened 4 times with Xemnas, Roxas, Naminé, and Shion. Meanwhile, everybody else went back to their original bodies. But if they stayed as nobodies longer, would Axel be unable to return to his former like persona as Lee? And then I don't know, Lee's just dead now, and it's just Axel.
That is a concept to think about. We're thinking about it.
I just feel like there are consequences to the things that they've said, and they didn't think about them very hard.
They didn't. It's like the
I'm
Ultimate
back.
thing with the whole Seven being Zero's father, and this gave a flimsy answer like, no, he's
Yes.
your dad.
It's just like, oh yeah, I'm your dad. It's like, why didn't you raise me? It's like, oops.
All right. I have returned. I was disconnected because the internet here where I'm at is not as good. So, if I go ultra silent, that means I'm either quiet or I have bad connection and I'm just disconnected. So I just just
We're
fair
basically
warning.
talking about the consequences of the retcon, where like, a new heart will grow in on nobody if they're left alone long enough, which implies that they're growing a new soul, which implies that they're slowly turning into a new person. And like, if you stay a nobody too long, does that mean that you can't return to your previous body? Like, if Axel never died and continued being a nobody, would he be unable to go back to being Lee? Would he become a new person? Did he get disconnected again?
No. I'm just like right now. I have a bunch of calculations trying to think of like what how do I respond to this?
Basically, I'm saying that like those are all possible. Those are all on the table, and maybe because they didn't think this through as much as they should have.
They didn't think it through. It kind of returns to something I mentioned to you some time ago about the ramifications, but with the whole breaking your body to be turned back to being a nobody. And it's like, one, where are Larxene, Marluxia, and everyone else is heartless when they became nobodies, and two, we formed again, but they purposely decided to become nobodies again, and there is no consequences for breaking your body purposely just to become a nobody again. And what the fuck happens to the heartless? That has not been explained.
Questions, actually.
And corresponding with the new topic with the whole soul possession thing with Terra, the prime example, his body has been, as Ben mentioned, it's been broken up far too many times, and he's able to maintain. And when he comes back together, spoiler alert, and Kingdom Hearts 3, when everything is united with him, there seems to be no fucking consequences to his soul body will breaking from each other.
That is actually a good point.
Nothing.
I kind of want to table that, and we'll get back to that in a second.
Okay.
Lingering will, Xehanort's freaking stand.
Yeah, especially like Terranort, that one bugs me most of all, and we will get to that in a second.
Because doesn't Terranort basically just age?
Yes, that's why it bothers me.
We're gonna get there.
In real time?
Yeah, he's like 30. And then like Tara comes back and he's like a 21-year-old again.
And he's back to being like what? Like yeah,
That's gotta be fucking weird.
Like does the light it de-age you back to how you originally were?
I don't know.
Does it go back to like Force Ghost rules when Anakin turned back to Hayden Christensen prior, like after getting redeemed?
Plot convenience reasons. I mean, I guess you could say that it goes back to where you were when you first split up. But again, we're jumping ahead. So yeah, so that was the thing about hearts and nobodies. Let's see. Oh yeah, there's actually another interesting thing about nobodies, where without like a heart or a soul to anchor them to the physical world, a lot of the weaker nobodies like Dusks and stuff they're depicted phasing in and out of reality as if like the darkness or whatever metaphysical like afterlife is trying to like drag them to the other side and they're just refusing.
Because of their strong will.
Yeah.
So basically like a ghost that that has not been soothed or like has not found peace or something.
In fact, it's heavily implied that everyone in the organization is wearing those black coats because if they took them off, the same thing would start happening to them.
Well, the black cloaks do protect them from the transporting to the realms of darkness or whatever.
So it makes it sound like, especially in Kingdom Hearts 2, it implies that the darkness is sort of like something that takes care of the dead. And when like the nobodies, when they basically die and refuse to die, darkness is what is trying to put them in their place.
I could right now just quote lyrics from Metallica's One right now. Like darkness imprisoning me.
Exactly.
100%. Oh, right. Also, in comparison to the Heartless, even the like weakest nobody tends to remember at least something of being human. Maybe not specifically their lives, but even Dusks can talk.
Do they chitter? They chitter, right, or something?
They, in plain ass English, talk to Roxas and Sora.
Their heads, right?
Yeah, they call them liege.
Leech?
Yeah, like my liege. The
liege.
Person who commanded me.
Oh, like king. I thought I heard leech.
Oh no, liege. It's weird to say liege without saying like my liege or something.
My liege.
That's weird.
Yeah, no. In Kingdom Hearts 3, Sora is getting attacked by Heartless, and nobody straight up show up and kill the Heartless for him. And then they ask him, "Have you seen Roxas?"
I don't remember that specifically. We're gonna get there, but
I need to replay those games.
I am almost certain that happened.
It probably did, and I'm just never remembered it because I didn't think much of it.
Like
maybe they didn't ask him, "Have you seen Roxas?" But they're like, "Hi, Roxas," and he's like, "What?
What?
Like what? Nani?
Because the most Kingdom Hearts game I've replayed has been Kingdom Hearts 1. So I have to play the other games, or at least replay like 2 as well, and 3. Yeah.
Oh, also, if we're comparing the Heartless and the Nobodies, for whatever reason, getting your... Well, I guess because the Heartless are just beings of darkness, they already had magic. They have magic. But for whatever reason, if you're a Nobody and you get your heart ripped away from you, you get free superpowers.
Oh, because of the attributes they have for each body form they have?
Yeah, like, I don't think Axel was able to cast fire magic when he was alive.
No, he wasn't. He had no magical capabilities whatsoever.
Until he got a Keyblade.
Yeah. Actually, no, he was still able to use his Nobody powers as a hero.
He did.
In fact, I think he opens a dark corridor and everyone's like, "That's incredibly dangerous. You're not a nobody anymore." And he's like, "Yeah, but I'm too fucking cool."
Might be an echo from that. Might be just an attachment now, since he's been a nobody for a certain period of time.
And he's also inherited some memories of Axel too. So
everyone calls him.
No,
Axel,
I think
not Lee.
Yeah, I think Lee remembers everything about being Axel. I think he just was Axel. which is why the whole like growing a new heart thing seems weird to me, because I never viewed Lee and Axel as two separate beings.
They're the same person, but different experiences, more or less. No. Lee and Axel. Lee was turned into a heartless by when he was like whatever age he is with Syax, right?
We're not actually sure when that happened.
They're very
Especially since, well, actually we are. Basically, they'd be 10 years older than however old they were in Birth by Sleep.
Mm-hmm. But that makes them like, oh god, what were they like?
They were like the same age as Ventus in Birth by Sleep.
We're actually not sure, because I assume that implies that the event that turned everyone into nobody, set the events of Kingdom Hearts 1 in motion, happened at the same time as Kingdom Hearts 1, but it's implied in game that it happened years earlier. So actually, they might just be like 5 years older than they were when they were in Birth by
Sleep. Interesting.
I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, they're hanging out with the fucking Twilight Brigade and shit. Or as we call them, the Stoners, because they are totally
groovy.
They hang out in an alley, and well, we don't really see them take illicit substances. They are totally doing it.
Would definitely do it. Pence would be hesitant. Oled would be, we shouldn't do this, guys. No, Pence and Oled would say
I can see. I'm seeing that right now.
I'm gonna be honest.
His haters
I do not think that they smoke illicit substances. I'm not judging this on their character. I'm judging this on the fact that in Kingdom Hearts 2, they struggle for hours at a time to pay for a fucking watermelon. How the hell are they buying drugs?
They're terrible at buying
money.
Like, no wonder we suck at drugs, man.
Oh my god, you're right.
Like, that's the high point of the summer, getting enough money to buy a fucking watermelon.
And not going to the beach? Oh, damn, just buying a watermelon.
Must be goddamn good watermelon. It's gotta be the best tasting watermelon.
Damn.
Oh, no, okay. Instead of drugs, they could just try to get alcohol and put it in the fucking watermelon.
I can honestly see Hainer going through their like recycling or something, seeing if there's like a half thing of alcohol that hasn't been all the way drank yet.
I can see that. It's like, this is the best damn tasting watermelon in the world.
or you steal some dude's six pack, like
yeah, when
like
they're not looking.
Yeah.
Just like swiping it like Yogi Bear at a picnic.
Wait a minute. That's the case by this. That basically means Cypher really does have a reason to discipline his ass. And he's in the right.
Oh my god, he stole Cypher's beer.
That's the entire reason they hate each other.
You stole my beer. Boy,
Because he stole Cypher's booze.
I'm gonna just talk to you, boy.
Technically, really, Cypher would drink because he's more of a fucking menace than Hainer is, but they got beef. So.
He stole Cypher's booze.
And I'm of the impression that Oled dated Cypher because he actually talks to her as a person. He doesn't talk to Oled. I think they might have dated, or they got like a Lisa Nelson Simpsons thing going on. Well, someone called someone kind of thing.
Oh my goodness.
Well, like picture it. Picture it. So Elette's an adult now, and then life hasn't gone the way she wanted. And I'm taking this from the Simpsons latest one of the Simpsons episodes when they
Olette is Lisa Simpson,
and then Olette just says something to like Ensa Hainer, and they're hanging out drinking, and then she just says, "Well, should I have married Cypher? Wait, you guys still keep in contact? Well, someone." Someone, and I'm thinking that is so Olette and Cypher. God, I really stand by this couple now. I like it.
Wait. who's married in this scenario?
Well, they're not married, but they're like they just still got this whole thing they've never really explored. They probably
No.
dated, but they might have got they not married. But it's like, should I have married Cypher at that one time?
No. I was like, you were saying like the future Lisa Simpson, and I'm like, wait, which future? As in like
The episode
fucking-
where Bart's got the two twin boys, and Lisa's got a daughter, and a lot of stuff. It's like in one of the latest seasons of Simpsons, I believe. That's on Disney Plus.
Okay, so who's Millhouse?
Oh fuck! Do we care? Oh, do we even care about Millhouse? Does it even matter? Who cares?
Not really.
Okay, why did we go from the rabbit hole? Why did we go down from Kingdom Hearts with the Stoner Gang to The Simpsons?
Because of the whole thing of what I mentioned about the way Cypher and Olette, the way Olette reminded it's a little thing. Olette reminded Cypher to do the homework, and he just says, "Yeah, I got it." He only responded to her in that particular way, as in, "I respect you, I like you." Let's see how this.
She
goes.
actually didn't remind him to do the homework. She asked if he was still going to help them try to look for the people who have basically been messing with Roxas all week.
Yeah.
Also, I've been quiet this whole time because I don't know shit about Simpsons.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's all good.
Just remember,
So-
remember I'm a Cypher Olette fan.
Oh, great! We got another ship.
I can ship those two safely. I'm good. I'm happy.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I want to comprehend this concept, but I haven't played Final Fantasy, wherever Squall is from.
Final Fantasy VIII.
But now I'm Final Fantasy VIII, so now I'm wondering what would happen if Olette was a Fantasy VIII.
Dun dun dun.
Well, technically, Olette would have been Selfie, but we already have a Selfie. So.
And she's on Destiny Island. Well, not really Destiny Island, but like the fucking town that's like across from Destiny Island that goes to school with Kyrie.
That little village.
Village of the Selfie.
The village of the Dawn or something.
Where this
Dawn Village.
Though, I really wonder if Twilight Town and Destiny Island should just become one world and just do a whole Crisis on Infinite Earths kind of situation just to get those two worlds together, make them one big.
Oh god, it's just a giant crisis getting all the worlds together and just like mishmash into
open
just
world
one.
Kingdom Hearts, Ghost of Tsushima style.
That would be awesome. You play a Sora and Riku.
Huge open world of like, hey, you could go to like freaking Twilight Town over there, Traverse Town or some.
What would you rather have as a vehicle? A horse, a car, or a Keyblade glider?
Keyblade glider.
Oh yeah.
Because you Keyblade glider, you can either have the glider like the skis like Aqua has, the hover bike that Terra has, or the hoverboard that Ventus has, or it could be like any other thing.
Xehanort has a fucking jetpack.
Are you get out of here?
That
What?
is his Keyblade glider. It's a jetpack.
He's the Rocketeer.
He uses it and
Oh,
he's
yeah.
on fight and Birth by Sleep.
Oh, yeah.
Because I never finished Birth by Sleep, so
It's like it's one of the hidden bosses.
You never finished it?
no.
Dude. Alright.
Remember, I had the fucking PSP the original PSP, and when I get up to and the PSP memory card is not working because like I bought it for like $9 from a friend, so
Wow.
Oof.
Got it.
I never made it that far.
Got it.
Oh,
Now that I have the PS4 version, I can go forward. So
Sorry, Ben. We can continue with the original story, what you were talking about. Sorry for the Cypher or that Mindscape.
No, you're good. What were we talking about?
We were about to talk. I think before that we were just talking about who would get high and they wouldn't get high, and Cypher and.
No, we were talking about Prince Olette. Why were we talking about that?
Before that, it was just about to start.
Oh yeah, no, we were talking about the sentience that nobody's have that
Yeah.
Heartless don't have.
Mhm.
Yeah, Heartless tend to be kind of primal. However, there are 3 specific circumstances in which Heartless did retain basically their memories and minds of when they were alive.
Because of Sword.
The first instance was Ansem, who was Xehanort's Heartless that didn't really. I don't want to say brain damaged, but it went around calling itself Ansem, even though it definitely wasn't. To be fair,
It could be a case of identity theft.
yeah, but to be fair, when Xehanort actually became a nobody and a Heartless, he was Terranort. And because of the way Terranort was made, Terranort kind of had brain damage.
Yeah.
He definitely had amnesia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
To the point where, like, I think that because of, like, the weird, like, mix matching of, like, Terra and Xehanort's heart, and also because he got dunked on so thoroughly by Aqua, that basically Xehanort's Heartless and Xehanort's Nobody splintered off into 2 totally separate beings.
At some point.
Xehanort's Heartless was just kind of crazy. He was a formless, like, thing that, like, basically was like a cloak that was floating around. So that's actually, that's basically like a thing of, like, it's weird that he had no form. I don't actually have any explanation for that, because the next 2 characters did have a Heartless form. They didn't have to, like, possess anyone to have a form. So I don't know what's up with that. I should think about that some more.
So we're saying it's Aqua's fault.
I mean, he let himself get so thoroughly dunked on by Aqua. He had every opportunity to not get brain damage. He could have worn his Keyblade armor, and he didn't. This is why you always wear your helmet. Although at that point, the Keyblade armor was the lingering will. So
this is all in hindsight with the whole Aqua thing, and I have come around with the whole Aqua praise, because that girl's got some L's and she has to pay for them. That we know everything that's happened, which is in hindsight because of the information that we know, because we are observers looking in on the story happening. And
also, to be fair, I like that Aqua has L's, because she was a little bit hard to take when she was, like, perfect all the time.
She was pretty pretentious with that whole, I have to be better than both of them because I'm the only one that's a legitimate master. But it's like, but then she's always, as you mentioned, always talking. She should be saying outwardly, but she doesn't. They never talk.
Oh yes, Aqua has this absolutely terrible habit of, like, saying the nicest thing to her friends and saying exactly what they need to hear and, like, helping them throughout their lives. And she says all this stuff when they're not around, when they're in a different fucking county. And then the moment she comes face to face with her friend, she's like, "You colossal fucking screw up! What the fuck are you doing?"
Pretty much the plots. What's the plot saying that as Aqua? So but Aqua's got but Aqua really had no right to say that. So that's a massive L right there for her.
So it's some bullshit. Some bullshit tough love crap.
Yes.
Unfortunately, Aqua's got no. Aqua has no Aqua does not have the high ground in any of that part.
To be fair, she probably learned it from Ericus.
Ericus is a bad teacher. I keep saying that. He's a bad teacher. He raised these 3 children.
And was willing to murder one of them.
Was absolutely willing to murder Ventus. Like, no hesitation, was about to kill that kid.
He was... Okay, Ericus got some darkness in him, because why on earth would you want to kill one of your precious
Like,
students?
If we're talking about toxic positivity of the light side, I think Ericus is that.
Yes.
Yeah, he's like, I've been drinking too much like beer. I'm addicted to being light.
Yes.
Yes.
But conversely, not that I'm trying to give Ericus any leeway, because fuck that dude. Due to the retcon, kind of, well, it is, from Kingdom Hearts 3, and when it's like, this was all my master plan, and I am so sorry that I almost killed you, Ventus, as of trying to wipe that shit clean, or whatever.
Mike
left.
Dipped.
Oh, fuck.
He'll be back.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's like, okay,
Oh, so this was not your fucking plan. Don't you lie.
This was not a plan. You really just said.
Rise of Skywalker moment.
You're flying by the fucking seat of your pants. You don't know what's going on.
Arrogance is a fucking bastard. He's just bad. Like, dude, stop it. We saw you from the get-go. Why are you lying?
Speaking of all of this, the next version of a Heartless that retained its sentience was the Guardian, or Terra's Heart. Which is an interesting candidate because... Should I keep going? I'm going to keep going.
I'll be back.
Which is an interesting candidate because Terra's Heart is kind of all over the place.
Yeah. Like the Guardian... You go ahead.
At this point, Terra's Heart is supposed to be inside Terranort, fighting Xehanort for control. Also, I guess the Guardian could be Terra's darkness and not just his... Because I've been saying this the whole time. Heartless are darkness, and they usually just have the... Hey, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
And they usually just have the heart as like an accessory. It doesn't tend to be what's keeping them together. It's what they're keeping away from the rest of the world.
Oh, and Mike got swallowed up by darkness.
Honestly, I'm sure he'll come back as a nobody. He seems like that kind of guy. So I guess the Guardian doesn't actually need to have Terra's heart in it. It could just be Terra's darkness, but it's still his heartless. And even though it's like gagged through like most of the games, and its will and ability to speak is taken away from it, in the final game it regains that, and it is just Terra who is aware of at least his promise to come back to his friends.
Yeah.
So that's another instance of a Guardian of the Heartless that remembers who it was. The last one, of course, is Sora. Sora basically separates his own heart from his body using the Keyblade of many people's hearts. It's like a confusing name that doesn't translate very well. And basically his body turns to like stardust and disappears, which I guess goes somewhere else and forms into Roxas. And
hey, Mike.
At that point, he becomes a shadow Heartless that is totally aware of who he is and what he's doing, and immediately goes to seek out Kyrie. So,
Confounded Heartless, out of here!
Yes. But, you could argue that he was basically acting on instinct and didn't remember exactly who he was, and his instinct just led him to Kyrie, which could totally be true. Because he never spoke; he only like emoted.
I think it was more instinct at that point, but I think since Kyrie is his lightning rod, I hate to use the Flash reference, but there we go.
Wait, well, why Flash?
Because lightning rod, that's his light. I mean, I don't want to say light, so that's his lightning. Kyrie's his lightning rod. He's Fiery Island. She is Iris West.
Yeah, he got struck by lightning and a bolt of chemicals.
Or something, yes.
Or lava, or whatever.
I just want to add that reference because it was right.
Oh, you're good.
I mean, it's perfect.
So yeah, those are times where Heartless have done that. But also, I think that brings us to the last part of the first part of this, which is talking about glitches in the system. Specifically, Roxas, Naminé, and Terra.
Anomalies.
The first and most obvious anomaly is Naminé and Roxas. Because effectively what a nobody is a person whose heart has been lost from them and their body and will decides to keep going. Sora loses his heart and his body disappears, but it is implied that his will still resides in his Heartless, which may be part of his... Again, if you're going to argue that it's more of an instinctual thing, then you could say that his will went to Roxas. You could also go on the fringe theory and argue that maybe Ventus's will went into Roxas as well. It's really however you want to see it.
Mostly appearance.
Yeah. But basically afterward, So basically, there's an argument there of like what exactly Will was a part of Roxas and why. But that one is kind of eclipsed by the body because in roughly the span of say 10 minutes, Sora gets his body back.
Very quickly.
Kyra uses like Princess of Light powers and he just goes back to normal. So wouldn't that deprive Roxas of a body?
Maybe he has a sense of, maybe he knows his sense of self though as just being Roxas though.
I guess that would so does that mean that Roxas is just a ill that refuses to disappear and is so strong that it remains physically manifest?
You're too stubborn. I'm too stubborn to vanish.
Well,
Pretty much. Look,
that would all. But then if we're going by that basically means 365 days. Roxas was created. The whole timeline thing doesn't really make sense then, technically.
Nope.
Because Sora's a Heartless, as you mentioned, for like maybe 15 to 25 minutes, and Roxas was created from that split. But then he gets restored back to normal. Then again, Roxas does contain half of Sora's power, so maybe. Well, then again, it's not really reflected in the gameplay, though.
Nope.
Maybe it'll be explained in Kingdom Hearts 4.
I think that they're gonna start.
Probably not.
They're gonna
Probably not.
They're gonna start fresh with that shit. They're done at this point. Like, nah, we're gonna start fresh.
Lord, what lore? We don't know what you're talking about, but
Pretty much.
Who is Roxas?
I have returned, I think.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, I had the same trouble too, but Discord died.
So
Yeah,
what was the last thing you heard?
Fuck.
Last thing we were talking about was the glitch of if Roxas is Sora's nobody, so Roxas is using Sora's body and will to make himself real, which means that he is manifesting from Sora's body after Sora becomes a Heartless in Kingdom Hearts 1. But Sora is a Heartless for like 10 to 15 minutes, and then he gets his body back. So what is Roxas at that point?
Part of Sora's power, I guess, too.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff is making the argument that Roxas's will to exist is so strong that it literally manifests itself its own personal body.
Well, what if it's Ventus's power too? Because he was in Sora's heart. So what if that's actually Ventus's?
I guess it could be, but Ventus's body is still locked in Castle Oblivion.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That whole nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
His heart is with Sora, and his will is, I guess, asleep.
Yeah, because he still has body memory. He awoke for like 5 seconds.
Yeah, he like moves around in his sleep.
It's dormant for now.
Sorry about that. I had to load Discord properly, so because it was being fucky. Yeah.
Oh yeah, did you hear what my recap?
Something about Sora becoming Roxas.
Basically, if Roxas is Sora's body and will, that means that he got access to Sora's body and will when Sora loses that body when he becomes a Heartless. But he's only a Heartless for 15 minutes, and then he gets his body and will back. So then what the fuck is Roxas? Jay argues that Roxas is his willpower to survive is so strong that it literally manifests a body for him.
Which looks like Ventus because of the whole connection thing.
Yeah, that he's like, maybe it's Ventus's body, but Ventus's body is still locked in Castle Oblivion.
Like, so really is part of Sora.
Sora's twin.
Oh god, this is a very horrible theory. But what if Roxas? I really hate this. What if Sora was a twin in the embryo?
You know
what? On the second hand, though, what if from the entire time from Kingdom Hearts 1 to Kingdom Hearts 2, Roxas is going around doing things, and Sora was actually Heartless the whole time and never woke up.
Once again, these are theories.
Just trying to make this lore consistent, damn it.
The thing about it is, we will never know with everything we have said, and maybe other.
I mean, I feel like we do know, but it's a glitch.
Yeah,
it's a glitch in the Matrix.
It's,
I don't even know what that means. I didn't watch The Matrix.
the glitch in the Matrix is well, they explain it as like if you see a ghost in real life, that's what they say. Glitch in the Matrix. It's like an anomaly that's supposed to not exist, but it does. Like deja vu.
Never mind. That's actually totally apt. Never mind.
It's like deja vu. You see the same cat over and over again. Oh, that's what the glitch in the Matrix is.
All right.
Roxas is. Well, that basically means Naminé's existence is, of course, an anomaly.
That's what I'm about to say, because while Roxas existing can be explained because Thor lost his body for 10 to 15 minutes, as far as we understand it, Kyrie never lost her body at all.
No, but her spirit was merged with Sora's, though.
Yes, her heart went to Sora.
Her soul.
But her body was just like around. Riku kept carrying it around with him during the fucking game.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
True.
So either her body and Whale turned into Naminé for a second and then split up like Sora and whatever did and Roxas did, or it's just a glitch. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
And the fact
True.
that Naminé is a blonde and has long hair, and not and Kyrie is a.
Wait a minute. Roxas. The reason why Roxas looks nothing like Sora is because of Ventus. Why the fuck is Naminé different?
It's the Matrix. There is no explanation.
Naminé's whole deal being a blonde, wearing a white dress and everything could be explained as I don't know.
They cross-pollinate. Is it because they cross-pollinated with fucking Ventus when they made
it all happen?
Yes, maybe. Who knows? Okay. I think you realize
there was a mild explanation in the game, given as due to the way that the Nobodies were created, specifically because Sora had the heart of Kyrie inside of him, and he made himself a nobody instead of being attacked and killed by Heartless by willingly doing it with the key. That maybe that's why Roxas and Naminé are so weird.
And that
the specific Keyblade.
But that doesn't really explain anything.
It does.
I think the conclusion I can come with is they just did shit and thought, you know what? We're not gonna care what the lore is. We're just gonna make it up as we go along.
Technically speaking, this is the whole Ultraman thing scenario. So Japanese writers apparently just say, you know what? Who's gonna think about it?
Yeah.
Fans will think about it very angrily on online forums.
I think what we can conclude is as long as it makes money, they don't give a shit about the fans and they're like, well, but we gotta connect the dots. Japan's like, nah, not really. In other words, he's convoluted. In other words, Kingdom Hearts lore is convoluted sometimes.
Yep.
Kingdom Hearts is you can understand it. Comprehending it is a different thing.
Yeah, I can understand that.
So yeah, I guess that finally brings us to our second, more specific tirade, which is possession. As far as I understand it, possession is something that has happened twice so far in the series, once with Riku and once with Terra. With Riku, what basically happened was that Ansem, who was a formless heartless, basically possessed Riku's body. Basically, he kind of just shoved... He honestly just... I don't know what happened. Maybe Ansem learned possession better than Xehanort after Xehanort's absolute fuck up with Terra. And maybe instead of trying to eclipse Riku's heart, he just shoved Riku out entirely.
Made him a wandering spirit.
Which is why instead of a fight for control like we see with Terra, whenever Riku stops his body from doing something, it's like an out of body experience. You see Riku physically in front of his body, holding it back.
Yes.
So as far as mechanically how that goes, basically, mechanically we don't know, and maybe it is just Riku's heart is being more thoroughly eclipsed than Terra's. To be fair, it wouldn't be a stretch to say that Riku's heart was weaker than Terra's at that point, because while Terra had gone through things and had found a resoluteness in it, and like basically resigned himself to being as enduring as possible and making it so that both of his friends live through this no matter what, which didn't happen at all. Poor Terra.
Yeah.
Riku was in immense turmoil when he agreed to give his body over to Ansem, and he had no idea what he was doing or what was happening. He was just very upset.
A state of weakness.
Yeah.
Well,
And I guess he only found strength again when he saw how much he was about to hurt his only friends and just wasn't going to allow that to happen.
personality-wise, though, going by the whole newer thing that we know about, if we're adding BBS to the fact of a young Riku saying he just wants to protect his friends and being the original heir of the Keyblade by the fucking ceremony with Terra, that basically means his whole agenda. I don't know why I'm saying this right now at this point. Didn't that mean that Riku got more cynical as he got older, and he just probably maybe forgot his own oath. He just forgot.
Possibly, but I actually read a thing recently which I found incredibly compelling, where it states that actually the reason that Riku snaps in the first game, especially because of Kingdom Hearts like theme of friendship and growing older, is that his place, especially based on that entire thing with Terra, in his place in his friend dynamic has been protector. He is there to watch out for Sora and Kairi. But they're getting older, and it's becoming apparent that Sora and Kairi don't need him to protect them anymore. And they can stand on their own now. And he doesn't know what to do with that. And the idea that his friends are going to like surpass him and leave him behind is basically more than he can deal with.
Well, now I'm just thinking about that one scene where Kairi goes like, "Hey, Sora, let's just go." Go. Yeah.
That was in the head. That was in the theory. In the theory, Riku is nearby and hears that conversation, and that's what causes him to snap.
Yeah, but that's not like in the game with Riku hearing. But
it's like the person was like, "There are too many boats in like," because it randomly cuts to the boats, and the theory was that there were too many boats there for someone else not to still be on the island somewhere.
Yeah,
but that's like, that's a headcanon. It's a bit of a stretch.
I mean, Kairi was just, she was joking. Well, who knows if she was really joking at that point.
I have no idea. She gets like her voice changes, and I'm like, Kairi, what's going on? It's like Riku's kind of freaking me out. I'm like, that's fair. He's getting weird.
One would also say that, given the fact Kairi doesn't really have no basis for me in the first game, but what if that was just what if she had a hint of Riku changing due to the whole being a princess apart? She just sensed something in the forest.
Oh, she like sensed that the growing darkness in Riku?
Yeah.
That could be it. Yeah, that's a good idea.
She just sensed it, like, okay, something's not right. Something doesn't feel right. Okay.
But
I'll
give
that to Kairi. I'll give that to Kairi.
But then throughout the entire game, he keeps trying to get stronger. And in fact, the first time he meets Sora again, he's on good terms with them until it's revealed that Sora has, in fact, outpaced him. He has a legendary weapon. He's very strong. And in fact, it looks like he's found a new Riku and Kairi who he gets to protect now instead of Riku. Like he's replaced Riku with new friends.
Ironically enough, those are his big brother/dads. And technically they stand by those two are just protecting their son throughout the entire game because Sora is just a fucking too innocent. He's just
their friendship dynamics way different from like when Sora was with Riku and Kairi, and I like that in that pilot animatic they made Goofy like very father-like.
Yeah, they're equal, like as far as protecting each other. They all protect each other evenly. But so yeah, no. Basically, Riku was in a pretty like he just took all that stuff the wrong way, and it pretty much drove him down pretty far.
They are also still going through puberty. You gotta remember that too.
Yeah, no, they're like 15 or so, maybe like younger.
Yeah, hormones
15 and 14
and
respectively. 15 and 14 respectively.
yeah,
So yeah,
hormones, emotions, just like running rampant. And
I hate you. I love you. I hate fucking. Why won't you be with me? You need to leave me alone, man.
Yeah.
Teenage angst. I do not want. I really want to forget you.
but yeah, as far as the possession of Riku goes, basically his body is possessed, but his will and I think his heart pretty much remain together.
Remained
To the
untouched
fact,
by darkness.
yeah, to the point where like he shows up at the end and helps close the door. Where I don't think his body has specifically been returned to him yet. Maybe it has. Maybe that's what happens after Ansem is defeated.
His body
But,
just snaps back to his soul and heart or whatever.
Yeah. But also it could very easily be said that like if Riku is still like basically a spirit, that he has physical, like corporeal properties here because they're so close to like, you know, the realm of darkness. And basically after that, Riku just gets his body back and shows up in the basement of Castle Oblivion.
And Chain of Memories, where I guess you can argue now that his body, his soul, heart, and mind just reconnect. Everything's back to normal with him, more or less.
Which honestly makes as much sense as like being in like the void or the afterlife and just showing up in someone's basement. So I'm not going to question it.
Then again,
Meanwhile,
sorry.
Oh no, what were you going to say? I was about to change topic.
I was just going to say the fact that just this is such a minor thing to say, man. It's so cool, but it never gets said again. He can smell darkness, like I don't know your scent.
Yes, yes. Oh god, I forgot about that. Yes, he can smell darkness in Chain of Memories.
This darkness stinks. Like you're like Inuyasha now, right? Okay.
Okay, I gotta find this one meme of Inuyasha right now. I need to find it. Oh my god.
But that does bring us to Terrifying.
Okay, cool.
So I guess I'll start talking while we wait for that meme to cook.
It's been cooked.
It smells like bitch in here.
It smells like bitch in here.
So, replace that picture with Riku singing or something.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Now I have more pictures. I don't even remember the first one. Akane or something. God.
I like you, Yoga, but as a friend.
I've been murdered.
All right.
Okay,
So
but Terra.
Terra.
Yeah.
Terra, however, was possessed by Xehanort using the power of the Keyblade to basically remove his heart from his body and put it inside of Terra.
The Keyblade, with an X. Key.
No, he just used the Keyblade. It was the regular Keyblade.
Oh, whatever.
Not the X-Blade. I call it the X-Blade because of the fucking...
Yeah, I call it the X-Blade too.
Yeah, I was like, wait, it's also called Key? Thanks for the confusion, assholes.
I think there's literally a comic
like Greek mythology or whatever.
Yeah, I think there's literally a comic from Awkward Zombie that basically perfectly states what's wrong with that. It's like this joke only makes sense written and not spoken.
Keyblade. Oh fuck. Okay.
But anyhow, so basically, yeah, Xehanort takes over Terra's body, and it's basically a rougher transition than he expected because he takes over Terra's body, and the first thing that happens is instead of like, I feel like the first thing that happens is his heart is trapped in his body with Xehanort, but instead of like his will and his body coming together to form a nobody, Terra's will is so strong that it literally inhabits his Keyblade armor and basically makes like a quasi nobody out of it. Which becomes the lingering will. Which is why I'm saying like Terra never fell to darkness, because instead of falling to darkness, he basically got his like he was basically taken over by Xehanort instead. Like he doesn't even I don't even think the Guardian shows up in this fight, Terra doesn't even have a heartless. Everything from this on forward that happens with Terra's heart and his body is because of Xehanort. Terra's literal will to do good and stuff separates from his body, goes into a suit of armor, and is like, put up your fucking hands, you bitch.
Give me back my body.
Well, he only responds to Sora's whole thing because of the Keyblade thing, right? And it's explained somehow. It's explained about the battle and why he did it or whatever. Because he originally gave the Keyblade to Riku, and he sees Sora with the Keyblade. It's like, no, this is not possible. My memories. What the fuck? Why do you have it? You're working with Xehanort. Oh, whatever.
Oh, that makes way more sense. I thought he just thought that Sora was Xehanort. That makes a lot of sense.
And it
or
wouldn't help
that Sora was Vanitas.
I was about to say it wouldn't help that because of Vanitas.
Yeah.
So one of those two things, but yeah.
So yeah,
Wait
no.
a minute. But battle. No, never mind. He did battle Vanitas at the end of his game, though. A little bit. Never mind.
I think Terra was aware of Vanitas. I don't think he ever really talked to him that much.
He never talked to him, but he did fight him.
Oh, right.
No. And Xehanort told him that he was evil, so he already knew that Vanitas was an enemy. But Vanitas starts attacking him, Aqua, and Ventus in the final fight, so he knows that Vanitas is an enemy. He's just not super familiar with Vanitas.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, right.
I think, unless he had his mask on the whole time, then yeah, you're absolutely right.
No, because
yeah.
The only
mask.
one that knows what he looks like is Ventus.
No, Aqua has definitely seen it without the mask.
Oh, she has, hasn't she? No, right. Because of the whole timeline thing of how that battle goes from different perspectives.
I'm almost certain she's seen him without the mask.
She did see him without the mask when Ventus was on the ground and everything. And
he was an icy pop.
Yeah. She just says, "You look like Ben," or some shit like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
We need to do replays for those games.
Oh hell yeah, we've been doing them. Yeah, no, if you want to get through Chain of Memories, I can get you through Chain of Memories.
As soon as I get my fucking PS4. But is my shit still in Germany?
But so yeah, actually, as far as Terra's concerned, he actually fucking bodies Terranort. And actually at this point it's still Xehanort. It's Xehanort and Terra's body. But and then the only reason that he basically doesn't finish him off is because Kingdom Hearts fucking explodes. And he's and it basically hits the off switch on his possession of his armor and it goes dormant. Which, fair enough. I guess a magical nuke would do shit like that, like a magic EMP.
Disrupts everything. Yeah. That's magic.
Yeah.
So basically, Xehanort lives and slinks away. Actually, no. At that point, he is Terra. No, yeah. Because that's what happens. Terra beats his ass. It's not Aqua, it's Terra. Terra beats his ass so bad that after that, Xehanort has amnesia and his mind and Terra's start basically conforming into a new person that people are calling Terranort. Technically, I think his name was Xemnas. No, not Xemnas. What was his name? Who was his assistant? Xehanort. No, his name was Xehanort. But the only original name that he has that he didn't steal from anyone is Xemnas. So, which technically he stole from Ansem. But
yeah.
Basically, Xemnas starts to become a person at that point because of all the weird, magic bullshit and brain damage. To the point where, neither Terra nor Xehanort is in control. They're constantly fighting for control. And basically, just the vaguest of instructions make it to the body, which has basically begun doing its own thing.
Yeah. And Greg
so at first,
do you remember who I am, boss?
Yeah, he's do you remember who I am yet? He's he keeps honestly throughout the entire time that Terranort is tenured. I'm just gonna call him Zemnis. That would fine. I'm gonna call him Terranort because that's what the fandom calls him. Yeah,
We don't have
I don't
to
love the
call him
name.
Just call him
I
Zemnis.
like Zemnis. All right, fine. So yeah, the entire time Zemnis is tenured as like Ansem the Wise's student. Basically Braig is like, have you remembered yet? Have you remembered yet? Have you remembered yet? Do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? Hello.
Shut the fuck up.
And I don't think he ever actually becomes Xehanort again. I think from that point on, he is just Zemnis.
And he does the experiments to separate his body once again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which actually would explain why when Terra is reformed, it's like hitting a reset button, because that's what happened to Xehanort.
And this goes
Zemnis is not part of the equation.
And this goes back to my whole thing that Terra's body has been through so much damage, and yet there was no.
Oh yeah, exactly.
There was no consequence to at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3. There was no fucking consequence to his body breaking and soul.
And we will get there in a second. But so yeah, basically that's what happens. Also, before he becomes like tame, he goes on a rampage of Radiant Garden, and Aqua has to stop him.
And she's thrown to darkness, sadly, because I have to save my friend.
Yeah. But, actually, no. Pretty much immediately after the fight with Lingering Will, Terra's will is stuck in the suit of armor, and his heart is now in his body and Xehanort's body. No, sorry, in his body with Xehanort's heart as well. Which reminds me, I think there was at one point a fourth component to this where like the mind was a component, but I don't remember anything about that. So maybe that would warrant a part 2, or maybe it was just like something else, but I just remember that. Whatever. Anyhow, because basically, even though, because like basically it feels like echoes of Terra and Xehanort's mind make up Zemnis. Like it's like both of them together in like this weird amnesiac sort of Jekyll and Hyde bullshit. So yeah. But anyhow, back on hearts and bodies, because right now Xehanort's will and heart is inside of Zemnis, and Terra's heart and body is Zemnis. Eventually, actually throughout and also inside of Terra's heart is Ericus's heart, according to Kingdom Hearts 3, like heart turducken.
Which doesn't make no fucking sense.
Heart turducken.
I don't know what that affects. I don't know how that matters in this circumstance, but I'm just gonna say it.
I haven't played Kingdom Hearts since the last time since 2019, and I'm like, what? Wait, Ericus's heart was in Terra?
They briefly mentioned this at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3 for like a second.
I haven't played that game in a long time, so
that's why Ericus shows up at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3. He was hiding in Terra the whole time.
It doesn't make no fucking sense that that's a Vecton then.
I thought it was. I probably had like a Mandela affected, like he just came down, like he just appeared like a Force ghost.
Yeah.
Like he just came out of nowhere, not freaking like I was within that guy the whole time. I'm like, what?
I was this guy the whole
I was in the
time.
deepest recesses of your heart, or something.
I am your heart. Don't think about it.
It's supposed to represent our relationship as father and son, Terra. It's like, what about Aqua? What about Aqua?
No one cares about Aqua.
No.
Mickey,
Okay.
even Mickey forgot about her.
Yeah, you want to know where Ericus was resided inside?
Where?
His colon.
That was a few. It was kind of nasty, you know?
Because that shit just came out of somebody's ass.
I pulled you out of my ass because of that reason. Meanwhile, Aqua's like, I'm lost here. God damn it, Mickey.
Okay, I feel like the whole anger against Mickey, it ain't exactly warranted anymore, because we established that Vectons are a thing.
No, I'm just making a joke because, like, oh, Mickey. But then you tell me,
You're right. Mickey did say, "Oh well, I kind of forgot."
I kind of forgot because shit's getting real.
Mickey, I love you, Mickey, but come on, bro.
But no, it wasn't all Mickey's fault.
It's not Mickey's fault, but damn, alright. That's a thing.
Yeah, and you're right, retcons exist, so they could feel like retcon it again and be like, yeah.
I mean, they probably will at this point.
I would not.
They'll probably retcon, not retcon, but they'll try to, with all the fucking information we have now, all the side games and the main story, they can probably compile it together and do something. Maybe.
They'll tweak it a bit, maybe.
Maybe.
Like, explain it was fate or some type of thing.
If they just say this was all just fate's machinations or something, I'm gonna scream.
I will cough blood, especially if
it's like just writing Trump, but I would be surprised if they say something like that.
What is this? A cat? What was this? A canon event? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's a Nexus event.
This was meant to happen.
Or whatever.
But it was going to end this way.
Or I forget how Flash explains, but like, you're the end, Barry. It's all your fault.
Yes.
More or less.
Give me the canon event so I can put it down and take a shit on it.
I'm sorry, Ben. What were you saying? I'm so sorry.
Oh no, you're good. But yeah, no, actually, at the Alpha, I forgot that basically in the fight with Aqua, Terra's darkness manifests itself as the Guardian.
Yes,
that's
he's in
what
the
I
Guardian now too.
Yeah. So yeah, he's back in the armor. He's the Guardian. So then I don't know what happens when this happens because it's an Aqua storyline and it's the realm of darkness where there is no time.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually Terra's heart shows up in the realm of darkness and speaks to Aqua. And it's actually implied that he's still in the Xemnas, in his own body as Xemnas, fighting for control with Xehanort's heart, because Xehanort takes control for a second and basically shit talks Aqua and like stuff. Which means that apparently, even though Terra and Xehanort's heart are in Terra's body, they also just randomly move for no reason. I don't know. Either that or this is after Terra's heart is separated from the Xemnas body and Xemnas becomes its own nobody. And that would mean that Terra's heart wanders around the realm of darkness. But that would mean that he's still shackled to Xehanort's heart, which has to be incredibly frustrating for him. That might have actually been what was going on. No, that actually makes sense. So yeah, no, at that point, Terra's heart is floating around. His body is now aged like 10 years, so he's 30 and is a nobody of someone else. And his will is back in, I guess you could say the will is the mind. Maybe that's what anyhow, his will is back in the armor and his darkness is a random heartless that basically does whatever this person with the strongest control over darkness at the time tells it to do. So like when Ansem is there, Ansem has control over it. When Riku is there, Riku has control over it. When I think Terranort might supersede Riku. God, that's why they say Terranort, because Terranort is a different thing. Because no, Terranort, I think Terranort is Terra when Xehanort has control. But like when it's the confused amnesiac, that's Xemnas. Okay. Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense.
I don't know.
Terranort.
I don't know about you, but I think my brain's mush.
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts kind of do that to people.
That's why I say it's convoluted.
It
In
is.
places.
Oh no, I've gone cross-eyed.
Yeah, on a deeper level, it's convoluted.
And
Don't think about it too hard, Austin.
everyone thinks Fate Stay Night's convoluted or Blaze Blue. I want some apologies. You fucking
Okay, Fate, I can understand because if I think multiverse, then yeah, I can understand it.
There's lots of fun Fate.
True.
Just like side stories.
Yeah.
But So yeah, no, and Terra Nort supersedes Riku as far as using it, and Ansem supersedes you, honestly. So yeah, no, Terra has been split into 1, 2, 3, 4 different pieces.
Yes.
And comes back together. And yes, now we should absolutely talk about the fact that his body ages 30 years and then ages backwards 10 years. So it ages 10 years and becomes 30 and ages backwards
And
10
it doesn't
years.
bother, and it does not give him any psychological damage.
Yeah, I feel like everyone in Birth by Sleep should be a little bit traumatized. I feel like Terra should be a lot fucking traumatized. Honestly, then again, so should Aqua because she spent an unknown amount of time in a nebulous void dimension slowly going insane.
Without aging.
Without aging.
Yes.
She's lucky.
Yes. Like, I'm
Is she?
strapped. Well,
aged a day.
In terms of
But
her
she really
aging,
lost her
no.
damn mind.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
And then she nearly turns into a Darkling.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
10 years of isolation, losing the concept of time.
The only person you have to talk to is you, and you don't talk, you just beat the shit out of yourself. Fuck you, fucking Mirror Aqua, fuck you.
Oh, Vi, we have a problem with that. We gotta go back to her, don't we?
That was on SharePlay, there was a lot of
Yes.
violence is real.
Yes, it was.
Ultra violence.
I could not get past her second phase, but she just shoots fireballs at you.
Okay, the thing about it is, we were on again. I say we were on critical mode trying to beat that. So.
Oh no, that makes sense.
Oh god, that's like legendary on Halo.
Yeah.
Wait, where were we? Oh yeah. So no.
So Terra was damaged beyond, and there's no consequences, and they should all be traumatized. The BBS cape.
Oh right, but that actually brings me to, I guess, my final point, which is the entire thing that made me think of this, which is of course Terra praise. Because technically Terra is the one person in Kingdom Hearts who is basically shrugged off possession.
Mm-hmm.
Like he gets possessed someone, just like shoves his consciousness out of his body, puts it into a different receptacle, and it's like, put up your fucking ass.
Give me back my fucking body, asshole.
I ain't done. I didn't hear no bell.
I can do this all day, you know.
I can do this all day. God damn it. That's another meme we have to make.
Captain America.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Mike.
Put up your fucking dukes.
Yeah, let's go.
I guess the most traumatized out of all the characters that we know of is Terra. It should be Terra.
Yeah.
His himbo brain shields him from the trauma.
Well, could be.
The Kingdom Hearts compilation big book I got, because of course, and I told Ben this at times, there are like stories attached to the character profiles, and there's a story that takes place literally like after the game. It's just exploring. Well, I wish it explored more thorough details, but you've learned little hints about their experience, about behind them being like locked up in darkness, sealed away. Well, actually, all three of them were sealed away. Oh my god!
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah,
they were all sealed away.
Ventus was in a coma for like 10 years.
Huh?
Although technically his heart was in Sora, so it was only kind of a coma.
Didn't Ventus mention something about "I saw you grow up," Sora, right? Or he just doesn't really know. Like what?
So like I think he was like vaguely aware of what was happening in Sora, so he was kind of in a coma, kind of not in a coma.
Oh my god.
What?
Oh my god.
What?
Just imagine freaking Ventus seeing Sora go through puberty. What the fuck?
That also occurred.
Well, Ventus, they say Ventus is 16, but really, I think he's 14, 13, really.
To be fair, the whole thing with him like going into a coma and losing his heart, and stuff at the end of Birth by Sleep, that is not the first fucking time that has happened to this boy. It is the third.
Mm-hmm.
This has happened 3 times
prior to the game.
Yes.
And every time he has to pick up the pieces of his shattered mind and go on, I'm pretty sure it stunted his mental development at some point.
This is why he likes Friends a lot. This is why he has the capacity of a 13-year-old, maybe.
Honestly, if I want to straight up steal something from Super Butter Buns, this is the reason why everyone must love Ventus or he will literally die.
That was it, or are you going to say it?
Honestly, I think we've gotten. Does anyone else have any like points about our discussion as far as like the body, will, heart thing of Kingdom Hearts, or the concept of how possession is used in these games?
No, I'm good. Well, I guess maybe one thing, but I'm not sure if that really counts.
Sure, go for it.
No, it's just something it's just something in Kingdom Hearts 2 I recall very thoroughly. Well, two things. If we're talking possession. Remember how, I'm not sure if this even matters, but Sora fighting Roxas in the remakes of 2, and how that's a big thing. And it's like, Sora, who are you talking to? Huh? You don't see him? And then it's like, Roxas takes Sora into the sub-dimensional, whatever, the Dream Drop distancing world or whatever, how that shit works.
I think that actually the reason that's all happening is because Roxas is now a part of Sora. So Roxas is basically projecting from inside Sora. At a higher level, Sora, like Roxas is like projecting a ghost of himself that Sora has to follow around. And when their fight starts, Roxas basically drags Sora. No, he drags Sora into like their souls, and they fight inside of their souls. And a lower functioning of it, basically Roxas's consciousness continues on inside Sora and is questioning why Sora gets to be, you know, the one in charge. And he starts making Sora hallucinate and see the thing. And so they finally drag Sora into his own mind, and they have a battle inside the mind.
Which I did fight in, and that shit was kind of complicated, but I was able to pull on through, but still, it was very little.
Yeah, because after you beat him, he's like, I see now why it has to be you.
Yeah. Another thing going by this is the whole Naminé still maintaining her sense of self and helping Kairi and Pluto escape the jail cell of the place that never was or whatever.
I think that's because like at the at that, because I feel like they were basically two different people at that point. Though honestly, I feel like I randomly had a thing recently where like maybe the idea was that like maybe Roxas and Naminé weren't supposed to be their own people, which I don't know. I mean, it sounds like poetic and pithy, but I don't know if I like it as much because I like Roxas and Naminé. They're cool characters. I'm sorry that I like people.
The whole Naminé holding out her hand with Kairi and resonate, and they have a gigantic light moment and shit. Like, oh, okay, that happened.
No, but like at the same time, Roxas and Naminé are trying to go back to Sora and Kairi the whole game.
Yeah.
So like as Naminé is like helping Pluto and Kairi escape, she's actively disappearing.
Oh,
and Kairi is like, yeah, trying to show concern, and Naminé is like, don't worry about it.
I am you after all, which doesn't really make sense anymore. You're not her. You're your own self, so it doesn't really make sense anymore. Really doesn't.
I'm just looking at the GIF Mike posted. It's just like zombies are going after Homer Simpson, wanted to eat his brain. They're like, there's no brain here.
I love that episode from like the early season.
Got it. But yeah. Then I guess that's it with the whole explanation of the summoning thing. If we're talking about and then the ending of Kingdom Hearts 2, where we see the reflections of Roxas and Nami looking at each other as it's Sora and Kairi, and you would think that was supposed to be the end of their story, but it's really not when they say, oh, but we want to make you guys your own selves, since you're not really nobodies. You actually have your own sense of will and heart, surprisingly. So, we need to get you out. Which becomes a big subplot in the entire third game.
Yes.
Like, Roxas made sort of sense in a way.
Every time we talk about lore that was distance, I just hear like screeching gears, like you're in an automatic car and you're shifting wrong.
I'm sorry.
No, that's
Yeah.
not about you. That's about me.
Roxas's return kind of made sense to me a little bit, but Shion didn't.
Oh boy, here we go. Oof.
No.
It's a long hoe to hoe with Shion.
Oh, we never talked about Shion, right?
Well,
No. She might be her own video in itself.
no.
Maybe.
I mean, I don't know.
Anyway, Ben, you can go back to your big conclusion. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. Did anyone else have anything to add?
I think they added it fine.
All right. The only other thing that I can think of is that time that Maleficent possessed Terra at the beginning of Birth by Sleep. So that wasn't necessarily possession.
She
It was more like,
manipulated him.
yeah, it was like
Well-
a Jedi mind trick, and it was never
Mhm.
fucking explained. And especially because he didn't end up doing anything that mattered. Like, because like Xehanort, or I don't remember if it's Xehanort or if it's Maleficent, but they literally say that like you can't force someone to steal someone else's heart.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, it was all just a setup by Maleficent to make Terra feel bad about himself.
She gaslighted him into thinking that he did something.
So like all of it became kind of non-actionable. So I don't even really think about that one. It just kind of was like a non-starter.
So Terra is effectively just he's an innocent bystander in all this.
A little bit, yeah. Except for accidentally helping Xehanort kill Ericus, which was a pretty big fuck up on his part. But also,
Whoops.
Ericus didn't help because he was Ericus.
Mm.
Ericus being an ass.
Yeah.
Arrogant
Skywalker,
ass.
why you gotta be like this?
Why did you have to? Why for a second you wanted to kill Ben? Not our Ben. Talking about Kylo.
Oh, God.
Why did the Keyblade choose you? Shut up.
I
Shut
don't
up.
know. If I knew that, then I would explain Kingdom Hearts more to you.
But yeah, I think that's it. I think we can call it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No big ending. No, that was it. You don't want to close out.
Until part 2.
I mean, yeah, until we make the 15-minute video, I guess. I don't know. I don't really have a big send off.
Okay.
We can say goodbye. Do you want to say goodbye?
Well, glad everybody, if you made it this far, thank you for listening to CGM Deep Dive, our first installment. And yeah, Kingdom Hearts will be the first few deep dives. We could do deep dives for different things. Like I don't know.
Yeah. Can indeed.
Now comes the second part where we try and. Oh right, no, you're right, Jeff. I should tell them in the second video. I'm sorry, I'm an idiot.
It's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
I
So
totally zoned out on that. So now, basically, the second part is that I'm going to try and listen to this recording of what we basically talked about and try and condense the information into a 10 or 15-minute video about the subject we just discussed. Because this is probably, what, 2 hours long?
It is effectively 2 hours and 12 minutes.
So yeah, I'm going to try and melt that down into a 15-minute and then I guess also learn how to edit videos and try and make interesting infographics and other things. Maybe?
Oh, yeah.
I literally have never done any of this shit before, so I'm just gonna like run face first into it and see what happens.
Okay.
So hopefully look forward to that.
Now we have two people making more effort than I have for the CGM channel.
Look forward to the abridged version.
The one person who's doing that is offering to help me do it. So Rocky might be an integral part of this process.
Oh, yeah.
Oh boy.
Thank
So,
you.
yeah.
So thank you, everyone, if you got this far. Hopefully we'll keep up this momentum with this new segments and stuff, and look forward to it.
Yes.
Yeah, and Deep Dive will not be exclusively Kingdom Hearts. We'll be doing other things too.
If
Yes.
it catches on, we'll see how well this, like, how fun it is to make the secondary video.
Yeah.
Very true.
If not,
No, hopefully-
just do another 15-minute recording and make sure it's just 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Well,
Do
I'm
another freestyle, but this time maybe the time limit.
we just fuck around, and then the next
that
one
would
we're
create a
actually
lot of
scripted. I mean, this whole recording is a blooper. So,
Well, you hear the unabridged version. Now you get the abridged version.
Yep.
the more you fuck around, the more you find out.
Yep.
Oh, thank you all.
Thank you all for joining us.
Yep. Thank you.
And we will see you next time.
Stay gold, everybody.
Later.